Ladies and gentlemen, things are going to start getting a little bit harsh for Americans. I don't know if you guys seen this or not, but in Canada, Justin Trudeau and his regime are now flying in UN troops from God knows where to enforce their draconic laws. These are truckers. They're flying in UN police, probably military police, to take down truckers. They're flying in Euro trash to take down trailer trash. No offense to the truckers, but when you think of truckers, that's what you think of. This is alarming at best. This is why I know it's crazy. Kinda respected the defund the police movement. They can bring out airplanes, jets and jets and jets full of UN soldiers to take down truckers, but they can't increase the amount of, let's say, soldiers or a police in Chicago, for God's sakes. We know where their priorities lie. Let's just say that. Check it out. I'll show you some footage.
They're flying in UN troops into Canada from Israel. And I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. What do you mean? Oh, you think all the UN troops are just chilling in Israel? That on the side, I said, you know what? I think these are UN cops coming up from underground. Okay, so long story short, check out this video. This is somebody who found a UN plane close to the action. So we're thinking, everyone's thinking now that they flew these fuckers in. From where, who knows? Long story short, my buddy could have been more half right than he thought. So check this out. I think they're flying these fuckers in. Check it out.
Well, I seen a video online, so I thought I'd come check it out for myself, and here we go. United Nations plane right here in North Bay. I wonder where all those cops in Ottawa came from. And there's no snow on it. It just snowed last night.
All right, guys. So
I've seen the communications between the cops, and they're putting these soldiers up, these combatants up in 5-star digs. I'm talking about they're giving them Canada's best food, Panda Express, because Canada's all Chinese now. They're wining and dining these people. But I think the big reason that they're doing this. Let me show you. The big reason I think they want to bring in UN soldiers is because of this. Check it out. So there's if you look close at the video I'm showing you. See these soldiers? All their tags on their chests covered. You can't see any names, you can't see any badge numbers, you can't see anything. Nothing. Look close. Here's the other deal. Maybe some of the cops were sympathizing with the protesters. So the protesters were like, oh, I don't want to bash in the skull of my neighbor, which is noble. So the next best thing they do is they bring in someone from, I don't know, Israel who doesn't speak English, and they tell them this person's a Nazi. Bash his skull in if he gets out of hand. Problem solved. Even more subordinate robots. So a part of me thinks that this defund the police thing needs to happen because I, for one, have never been an issue where a car was stolen or somebody was beaten where a cop stopped it. Usually when cops get involved, things get worse. You get attacked, you defend yourself, you knock the guy clean out. Someone calls the cops like, hey, you shouldn't have did that. Call the cops. Cops show up. Tell the cops you got no fight, you're defending yourself. They'll say, arrest the guy who attacked him, who he knocked out. And also arrest him too. That's how it goes. They're not there to de-escalate and help. They're there to harm. Protect and serve thing is a meme. If you're being robbed at gunpoint, a cop doesn't have to step in because they weren't called by dispatch to do it. There's no legal law saying that a cop has to jump in front of a bullet to help you. As we've seen, they've been just pumping people full of bullets undeservingly at most points. And I was just saying, hey, if we defund these guys, if we defund them, all that's going to happen is they're going to use federal agents to enforce laws. Can you imagine how thinly stretched they would be? They would have to stretch themselves so thin because there's so few of them. They would have to maybe stop Fed posting on websites. And that would solve a lot of problems. So, at this point, I'm okay with defund the police because all they're doing is harming us. Goddamn. Here, look. Look at this. Check this out. So, a woman, you guys probably seen this. Let's see if I can get it up. I know, maintaining radio silence. Check this out. There's an elderly woman was trampled by these hired thugs. Look, these are, I don't know if you've ever been around a horse, but they're just thousands of pounds of muscle. I saw the video previous to this, and this lady she had like cookies or something in her hand. Old lady talking. And she's like, oh, we're not here for violence. Unironically, the violence was there for her, and the cops were the ones bringing that violence. People, they're going to tread on you. They're going to tread hard on you. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to say, it's fine. They're going to make the split between Antifa and the crazies and the supposed what do you call it? Patriots? Supposed patriots? It's insane. They're gonna tread on you. They're gonna trample on you. They're not just gonna tread, they're gonna trample. That's what's gonna happen. So all you patriots out there, sport the blue. All those guys, wait till you get out of line. Wait till you decide you don't like something the government's doing and you decide to stand up. That blue is going to tread all over you, brother. That's what's going to happen. All media is going to run wild. Cops going to be dropping legs, dropping elbows all over you. And all you're going to be able to say is, I support the cops. Because nobody's safe. You can't fight back against these people. You just can't. They're supporting Justin Trudeau, not you. That's their prime objective is to support and to take orders from their masters, not the taxpayers. Yeah, you pay their stuff. They don't care. That's not. They don't get promoted for helping you. That's not how it works. No matter who fights back. What do you think they want to do to this little girl? If it was, they probably planted a pistol on this little girl, and God knows. But unlike Greta Thunberg, she's actually fighting for her future the proper way. She sees the actual problem, not climate change, not cough. By the way, I can't say I can't speak about the thing the thing you see on your screen, I can't speak about that anymore because on the main channel, I was given my first strike, content guideline strike for, saying the wrong thing. I haven't been so mad in so long. I got my first strike. So when I'm referring to that thing, this picture will probably come up and I'll say, you gotta get it. Make sure you get, slapped and jabbed. Cause it's not that it can't be spoke about. It's just certain people can't speak about it. And I have to be one of those people. You too. We're not rich and powerful enough to speak about it. Just look. Check this out. Oops. Can you use my whole new setup? Sorry about that.
Personally, I listen to the little voice in my head that doesn't really follow 100% what they tell me because they keep changing it.
Yep.
Right. So, like, very short time ago.
If I were to say, hey, they keep changing it. It changes all the time. We gotta get more and more and more. Flag, banned, destroyed. We're sending in the cops to beat you savagely. We're going to, inject you with things. That would happen to me. But this woman, this putty brain, says it. And she's perfectly fine.
They were saying put the N95 masks on and now they make sure it's a, and now
they were never saying put N95 masks on. The people who were saying put N95 masks on are people like me. Those N95 masks are a lifesaver. They can stop you from getting influenza, colds, and things like that. N95 respirators help. Saying that clearly, YouTube.
they're saying you don't have to wear them anymore.
Yeah.
So if I go on the subway, if I go in a bus, if I go into the theater, if I go into, where else would I go?
A crowded spot.
A crowded place, I would wear a mask, and I might do that indefinitely.
This is the type of woman who goes to McDonald's and orders a fillet of fish. There are people who I can just look at and tell you they enjoy a nice fillet of fish, and she's one of them. Those people, you don't listen. If you're gonna eat a fillet of fish and you're gonna try to give me an opinion, it just doesn't work with me, because you ate a fillet of fish. I can smell it on your breath, and you're trying to tell me something. You're a putty brain who would eat something so grotesque without being paid. If they paid me to eat a fillet of fish every day, I would be broke, because I wouldn't eat a single damn one. But you know she's the type who would wait in the McDonald's drive-through for about 40 minutes, pull up, and take at least 20 minutes to order one fish fillet with extra tartar sauce. I don't know why I just went on that tangent.
Because why do I need a flu or a cold even?
Right.
And so I'm listening to myself right now. I don't think it's 100% safe yet.
I think there's a prudence we've learned with the mask, the hand sanitizing, that kind of like 9/11 with flying is always going to be here now. I think some of the things we've learned in this pandemic are going to stay the same. I may never ride a subway again without a mask. I may never go indoors to big crowds and ever feel comfortable without a mask, and that's up to me to do that.
And over the weekend, Bill Maher made a case for people who are vaccinated, boosted, and have been following the rules since all of this started. Take a look.
It's just gone on too long.
All right, I'm not going to play that because I don't know if they're going to say I'm saying this stuff that Bill Maher's saying, which I agree, but I'm not going to get into that. We have hit a point of no return. We lost at this point, I think. We had our opportunities with guys like Trump. Someone showed me something, and it's kind of putting something in it. It's kind of putting this particular event in a new light. Look at this. So if you look close, they're saying she's being arrested. This is Miss Clinton. They're taking her away. They're saying this was actually her hands are cuffed behind her back. Which, now that I see it, yeah, her hands are behind her back. I didn't look at it like that. And if you look close, that thing that fell out of her pants, that wasn't a weird type of silver vibrator. It was actually a piece of a ankle shackle. You see it? She didn't, at first I was like, oh, it's just Hillary Clinton having one of her fainting spells. They gotta carry her away because her body doesn't fucking work. But they don't carry people away with their arms behind their backs like that. So this is mind-blowing to me that she's being arrested. Take a look at it again. Look close, look close. Now look at her arms. They're behind her back. So is that weird to anybody else but me? Kind of strange. Kind of strange.
Taken human.
But a lot of things are. I think she got arrested. She got in a little trouble. And I don't think, maybe it wasn't related to Trump because Trump didn't talk about it, or it could be an ongoing case that he doesn't want to talk about because he is under some sort of, thing where you can't talk about a case that's ongoing. She did say to Joe Biden, Donald Trump cannot win this election. You have to win at all cost. Could that be because she was afraid of maybe actually having some repercussions? So I've been black-pilled this whole time. Super black-pilled. But that's a little lining of red pill, little red line in the sky. I see. And Hillary has been looking awful recently. She's looked like a scared Muppet, So right now, I think because of all the information they have in, so Russia, Hillary Clinton had hackers hack certain servers to connect Russia to Trump. That information is in Vladimir Putin's hands. Vladimir Putin has access to that, to the information that Hillary Clinton committed, not treason, but what's the other one? The one under because you can't be treasonous if you're. I can't think you can't commit treason if you're not like a whatever. But Vladimir Putin has that in his hands. That's why I think, and Vladimir Putin also could get access to Ukrainian information if he were to press Ukrainian leaders. He can get information about Burisma and about all the energy companies that Biden has had access to. So he can get quid pro quo information from the Ukraine, and he can get negative information about Hillary Clinton. So that's why I think they're looking to start this conflict in the Ukraine against Russia. This is why I think they want to protect Ukrainian borders, quote unquote.
Richard, here's the president.
Today, I made two vital calls, as I've been making for some months now. Two vital calls that on the situation in Russia and Ukraine. The first was to a bipartisan group of members of Congress who are currently representing the United States along with Vice President Harris.
So this boring Muppet wants to protect Ukrainian borders when our borders are looking awful. I'm going to play some actual images of our borders.
More people hiding in a stash house, as well as got into a high-speed chase with the driver believed to be involved in a human smuggling scheme.
Current state of affairs. And what's likely to happen in Ukraine?
Oh my God! Look at this.
Altar to Santa Muerte, which is the patron, what's considered to be the patron saint of drug smugglers.
That Santa Muerte stuff is the worst thing. The worst thing. I think that can come over. I think it's worse than bringing fentanyl over the border, because these psychopaths worship death, money, and drugs. When they come over the border, they're bringing death, they're draining money, and they're bringing poisonous drugs. People don't get that. They think, oh, this culture's great. No, the culture that they're smuggling, that they're bringing over here, we're not talking about like the cucaracha, dancing big hats and eating tacos. We're not talking about those Mexicans. We're talking about the ones who worship a death, drug, and money god. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the people that that's gonna move in next door to you, because guaranteed every person, because fentanyl is so cheap to produce. Fentanyl is so lucrative for these people and so addictive that every time they bring over one person, let's say you got a truck full of, let's say 500 people. You just put them all in illegal immigrants in the truck, and you tell them to cross the border. But you tell everybody, I'm going to give you a package of fentanyl. Tape it to your chest. Package, 5-pound package. Tape it to your chest. Meet this person, and he'll reimburse you the money for it. That's a lot of fentanyl, and that's what they're doing. Every illegal you see crossing has some fentanyl taped to his body, and it's getting in. If you care, hey, this is what helped cause George Floyd's death. This is killing, not just, if you care about minorities, this fentanyl's killing a lot of people. And you're just letting it come over. Let's finish hearing this Joe Boring singing.
Overwhelming message of both calls was one of unity, determination, and resolve. I shared with all of those on the calls what we know about a rapidly escalating crisis in Ukraine. Over the last few days, we've seen reports of a major uptick in violations of the ceasefire by Russian-backed fighters attempting to provoke Ukraine in the Donbass. For example, a shelling of a Ukrainian kindergarten yesterday, which Russia has falsely asserted was carried out by Ukraine. We also continue to see
Okay. Where have we seen that tactic before? Oh my God. So you're saying that Russia, for no reason at all, fired a weapon into a kindergarten? We've seen this tactic a million times. To start a war, you get people riled up because you have them do some asinine stuff like gas their own people, like a quote-unquote Assad did. He didn't gas his own people. Everything's going fine. People are obeying me. It's me, Assad. People our laws are going great. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna commit a horrible atrocity for no reason and provoke America. Who does that? Nobody. This is the American MO. So Putin's just firing shells off into kindergartens for no reason. Yeah, right.
Information being pushed out to the Russian public, including Russian-backed separatists, claiming that Ukraine is planning to launch a massive offensive attack in the Donbass. Well, look, there is simply no evidence of these assertions, and it defies basic logic to believe the Ukrainians would choose this moment, with well over 150,000 troops arrayed on its borders, to escalate a year-long conflict. Russia's state media also continues to make phony allegations of a genocide taking place in the Donbass, and push fabricated claims warning about Ukraine's attack on Russia without...
He always goes to dig his finger in his nose and dig out a booger, and then he remembers. He becomes lucid for a split second. He remembers, Joe, don't dig in your nose and get a booger out. Don't do it. He remembers.
Evidence. It's just what I'm sure Ukraine's thinking of doing, attacking Russia. All of these are consistent with the playbook the Russians have used before to set up a false justification to act against Ukraine. This is also in line with the pretext scenarios that the United States and our allies and partners have been warning about for weeks. Throughout these tense moments, the Ukrainian...
So, you've heard me say this phrase before, putty brain. And I'm going to explain what that is to you, because it connects to this. So, a putty brain is a person who has no real opinions of their own. They just have a smooth, malleable brain, and you can convince them of anything. I've said it before. A putty brain sees rappers drinking cognac and Grey Goose. They think, I gotta drink cognac and Grey Goose. Putty brain sees that dork Johnny Depp wearing a bunch of bracelets rings. They think, I have to be that man. I need to be cool like that dork Johnny Depp. So I'm gonna wear 100 bracelets and 1,000 rings. When a putty brain hears something that's obviously extremely made up like this, they just accept it. A majority of America, idiot consumer putty brains who would think this is real, think that Russia is going to just attack the Ukraine because they think the Ukraine's going to attack them. Not true at all. That's not going to happen. And then on top of that, even if they did, it should not be our business, because they're so close together. And there's so much conflict that we don't even know about. They just have zero to do with us. Again, this is like right now. We said there's too much fentanyl coming over. These gangs are doing crazy shit. We're gonna invade Mexico. And then freaking Germany's like, we're gonna start a war because of that. No, that's our shit. Get out of here. Any competent nation, not even that, because nations can't have competency. The people in those nations, anyone who's competent will say this is ridiculous. And I guarantee there's a lot of putty brains out there who are saying, this is kind of stupid. But these people are scared. They're scared because Hillary Clinton's getting in trouble. Joe Biden could potentially go down with her. Ghislaine Maxwell could start leaking, and leaking everywhere. It's going to be disgusting. She's going to be leaking. It's going to be gross. And also, she's going to give up some information about about a bunch of politicians and super rich people. If you don't, there's nothing we can really do, because we see right now the world, all the world leaders, all the most rich and powerful people are out to push their agenda, and all we're doing is standing in the way. That's all. It won't be long before they do what they're gonna do, but we're there annoying them. That's all we're doing. That's all. So it's not gonna be long before the Ukraine's borders are boosted, boasted, and protected, and looking incredible, while our borders are porous and has a red carpet rolled out for people to go to. Meanwhile, in America, it's getting insane. Look at this. So you gotta remember, these are probably not American troops.
with their trucks, if that is indeed their livelihood. I think we're seeing another arrest there.
Yeah, I was just going to
That's how you arrest a guy right there.
Yes,
That's how you
want
arrest
to bring
him.
to our viewers' attention that we're watching live images right now of what is happening in Ottawa, and it appears that there is another arrest. As Rosemary also mentioned, we're watching officers, law enforcement, start moving in physically.
You know, there's someone seeing this guy beat this guy savagely, and they're doing the neck thing, like cut it, stop, turn it. What are you guys doing? Turn this off. Cut the feed. Somebody's getting fired. Cut this feed. You know, there's that's what they're doing right now.
Law enforcement start moving Ottawa.
That's not how you arrest a guy.
Right now to bring to our viewers' attention.
I know we like to defend our cops at all costs, right? We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military. They're important. Even when they got their knees on our necks, even when they're punching us, even when they're stopping our truckers from just being alive.
Just right now of what is happening in Ottawa, and it appears that there is another arrest. As Rosemary also mentioned, we're watching officers, law enforcement start moving.
Cut it. And then this is what should have played right here when they said cut it. The screen should have looked like this. Cut it. Cut the feed. That's how the screen should have looked. Would have been actually hilarious. So even it's getting to the point where it's just like obvious, and they don't even care. There's no care or remorse. They're just doing what they do. That's all they can do. Oops.
As I sat there and I thought about it, someone recently asked me what I identify as. I sat there and I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that I identify as a threat. Someone recently...
Or you can't like that. And once this whole thing's over, once we get back to normal, and if we all survive this, I don't know what's gonna happen. If anyone trusts the media after this, if anybody trusts our government after this, we just got another putty brain person on our hands. That's all it could be. Because you guys, if you haven't realized what's happening, I don't know if you remember before the situation, before the thing I can't say on YouTube. Before that happened, there were mass protests everywhere. Catalina, Spain, Australia, I think Germany, America. They were protesting all over the world, different things, but people were all getting up and protesting. And it was getting to the point where it was getting ridiculous. Then, everyone forgot about it because this happened. So we all forgot about it. But now, it's happening again. Now the protests are coming back. Now people are getting back up at arms about our government's mistreatment. So, what's the next step? What are they going to do next to quell the rabble? Because Joe Biden's not doing a good job. He's making people way less confident on the integrity of our government. That's all he's doing. He's making people trust our government less. Let's go ahead and look at this.
now is in Canada with these tremendous peaceful truckers. Working class people have just told the global elites is manifested by Castro Trudeau and his henchman, Krista Freeland. And she's the hammer. He's just a spokesmodel, right? She's the hammer. She's the one, and we're going to make her famous or make her infamous. And I've dealt with her one-on-one. She's very smart, extremely tough, and she's an example of the party of Davos. She's one of these global World Economic Forum junior fellows or global leaders, right? These people they have in, by the way, Merkel was one, Putin was one, Dan Crenshaw's one. This is these guys, they get there, they get them in the globalist mindset, and they come out and they're like the Himmlers, and they use the Gestapo. They have turned, and this to me is one of the most important things going on, they have turned the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, this iconic group, into essentially a Gestapo up there. The barbaric way that they have shut down this, or try to shut down this peaceful protest, these are searing images into the world right now, not just Canada. And everything that Trudeau talks about, all his, he's Mr. Nice Guy, he's Mr. Inclusive. Look at the inclusivity right there. Look at it right there. Those are working class people. Magnificent coverage from Vivi Fraud, magnificent coverage from Ezra Levant's Rebel News. Want everybody to make sure you support them. Go online, check it out.
Depressing. Let's hear what this freaking fool's got to say. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Make sure I say her name right and her pronouns and name right. We don't want to offend her. So yeah, if you're watching, main channel, we can't stream on it for a while, because we said some no words. Because we're not adults and we can't just say things. So now I'm here with probably 0 people watching, which I guess is what they wanted.
The word defund, and it's like, this is the word that's coming from the streets.
Yes, I support the defund movement. Not only do we need to defund, but we need to dismantle it.
You would have to be a desperately unhappy gender studies major with a degree from Duke to think defunding the police was a wise idea.
The one thing that they hate is when you attack their money. So back when they were having the big old mostly peaceful protests and Black Lives Matter, when that was happening, I was fine with Targets and Walmarts being attacked, as long as you leave the small businesses alone and the residential areas, people's houses and stuff. The big businesses, I don't care. I just don't care at all. 0. Because that's big corporations' money. Those big corporate companies, Target and Walmart, they come into communities and destroy them. They ruin mom and pop shops and stores. So why should I care about cops protect? That's all the cops are going to protect. You don't see a cop at a small mom and pop shop protecting it when there's riots. They don't care. They're protecting the big guy's money. That's what they're doing.
It's funny because when people ask me what does a world where we defund the police, where defunding police looks like, I tell them it looks like a suburb.
Defunding the police looks like a suburb. With lush lawns and pool parties and hip moms and Range Rovers and the pickup line. Fun! As with so many faddish hysterias that sweep our culture, most people just went along with it. They were afraid not to. Everyone else was.
Yes, I mean, I hear that loud and clear from a lot of my neighbors. I know, and myself too, and I know that that comes from a place of privilege.
California, right here, these people that sit behind.
I think we need to step back and imagine what it would feel like to already live in that reality, where calling the police may mean more harm is done.
Try walking down the street in any major liberal city. NYPD releasing new video of a brutal mugging showing the effects of an unpoliced city. Democrats who push for less police aren't worried. They're too busy hiring their own private security to keep them safe.
You want to see me die? You know, because that could be the alternative. So either I spend $70,000 on private security.
This whole thing is a double-edged sword. We're giving people supreme power and the authority over violence. They have a monopoly on violence. We're giving them that, and we're just letting them loose in society with flimsy background checks and not even a check on who's commanding them. This is a scare tactic, if you ask me. Yeah, there are some neighborhoods out there that would see a lot of violence, but those neighborhoods are already violent. Chicago, yes, it might have a little uptick. It's gonna have a big uptick in violence, but I'm here in rural. I'm next to Chicago, rural Indiana. No, we're not gonna have a uptick in violence where I am. We're not going to have an uptick in a lot of these places. And you know what? The cops aren't even protecting either of the places. It's a demographic thing. And they're both demographics are saying, hey, maybe it's time to defund. Maybe because these cops aren't. They're just a reflection of the neighborhoods they're in. You get the bad, violent cops in Southside Chicago. You got bad, violent cops there who want to hurt just as much as the bad, violent people. You get a rural place here. The cops aren't bothering anybody here. You know why? Because we all legally have. I literally drive my car with my concealed carry and open carry, just on my chest. Cops never bothered me. It doesn't happen because it's a reflection. That's all it is of the neighborhood. So yeah, we defund the cops. We defund the Zog bots. They're not going to be there to protect certain places and certain things. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it because it's not working out. The relationship is bad between regular.
We're watching live images
patriots,
right now of what is happening in Ottawa, and it
regular
appears
Americans,
that there is another arrest.
And cops.
You know, as Rosemary also mentioned, we're watching officers, law enforcement, start moving in physically.
Because these people who are becoming
their livelihood. I think we're seeing
becoming officers. It's taking more and more. Their requirements to become a cop. It's less physical now, and it's more educational. So they're taking people with criminal justice degrees who've spent years and years in college being indoctrinated. So these cops, when they see minorities, they think, oh, poor minority, and it's a one of those Santa Maria cartel gangsters with 13 pounds of fentanyl taped to his body and armor-piercing bullets in his pocket. But they see just a guy in a truck, maybe a Trump sticker on the back of his truck. You get what we're seeing right now. Call him a filthy Nazi, and they knee him in the chest. They see a grandma with a Tupperware container full of cookies, and they just trample her with their horses. That's what happens. So if you want to sit stagnant forever and do absolutely nothing, that's fine. Same old. Look at those delicious cookies. Bam, she dropped them. I'm never gonna have even a single one of those cookies because they taste like a horse's hoof now. Maybe I'm a little bit more upset because I really like cookies. Because they're not just treading on us right now. They're trampling on us. It's a shame. Get some baked Alaska playing. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military. They're important. Baked Alaska has an ankle monitor on right now, and he's been to jail. God, maybe, I don't know, like 15 times. I bet he thought he'd get some leeway because he made that song with our cops, but these, all they care about is their orders and getting that promotion. That's it. They're gonna cave your skull in, just like they're gonna cave in Tyrone's skull. Best believe, unless you're a putty brain who just accepts it. Cops are there to protect and serve. No, they don't have to do anything. If someone could have a gun pointed at your chest. Either you're gonna dodge that bullet, gun point blank range to chest, you're gonna dodge it, or maybe a cop is gonna come selflessly jump in front of that bullet. You got a better chance of dodging it. Let's just say that. I don't know, man. I'm out of here. Let's call this a show. If you can, go to the main channel, Frigid Zone, not live, regular Frigid Zone, or subscribe to this one. We're gonna only do our live content here. We're gonna do more censored content on the other channel. I'm on Rumbler, BitChute, Odyssey, all those alternative platforms. I'm on there. I would like to start doing better produced stuff. But I need to start getting views, start getting subscribers, start getting everything. Because I watch other channels. They're just guys sitting there practically doing and saying nothing. Right now, there wasn't that here on this show because got a little new setup, trying out new effects. This is kind of a test stream. New channel, new effects, a whole new setup. Maybe some gun coverage. Maybe some of that hot goss. But yeah.